In 1950, somewhere in Asia, a mission was launched without explanation. Orders were issued. Units were moved. Silence followed. Those involved were told to proceed, but not told why. No records were released. No answers were given. The year was 1950. Asia was unstable. The Second World War had ended only a few years earlier, but peace had not settled. Borders were fragile. Governments were new or weakened. Military forces remained on constant alert. Across the region, foreign advisors, intelligence officers, and military units operated under unclear mandates. Many missions were officially described as training, observation, or logistical support. In reality, lines between peace and conflict were blurred. In one remote area, far from major cities, a small mission command was formed. It consisted of officers, communications specialists, and a limited ground unit. They were experienced. Most had served during the previous war. None were told the full purpose of the operation. Orders arrived through secure channels. The language was brief. Movements were outlined. Timelines were strict. Explanations were absent. The command requested clarification. None was provided. The area of operation was mountainous and rural. Villages were scattered. Roads were unreliable. Maps were outdated. Local forces offered minimal cooperation, often claiming they had received no instructions themselves. Despite the uncertainty, preparations continued. Supplies were delivered quietly. Equipment was standard for the era. Radios, field vehicles, paper files stamped and restamped with classification marks. The mission was not publicly acknowledged. There were no press briefings. No official announcements. Even within the military structure, few seemed aware of the deployment. Some officers suspected the mission was intelligence-related. Others believed it was meant to test responses from local powers. A few feared it was a decoy. None could confirm anything. As the unit assembled, tension grew. Soldiers noticed irregularities. Serial numbers removed from documents. Orders signed with initials instead of names. Dates that did not align. Attempts to contact higher command produced only short responses. Proceed as instructed. Maintain position. Await further communication. The absence of explanation became its own message. Locals observed the movement quietly. They did not ask questions. They had learned not to. Some villages emptied at night. Others pretended the soldiers were not there at all. By the time the mission moved into its designated zone, it was clear that whatever was happening was meant to remain unspoken. Even among those carrying it out. The operation had begun. Without context. Without justification. Without answers. As weeks passed, the mission expanded in scope but not in clarity. Patrols were sent into surrounding areas. Observation posts were established on ridgelines. Radio transmissions increased, yet the content remained limited to coordinates and status reports. No strategic objective was ever stated. The command structure grew increasingly rigid. Communication with local authorities was discouraged. Independent movement was restricted. All actions required prior approval, yet approvals arrived without explanation. At times, orders contradicted earlier instructions. Units were told to advance, then halt. Equipment was repositioned, then abandoned. Reconnaissance data was collected but never discussed. Several officers raised concerns. They documented irregularities in private logs. These notes were later confiscated. One incident stood out. A patrol failed to return on schedule. Requests for permission to conduct a search were delayed. When authorization finally arrived, the patrol was already gone. No traces were officially recorded. Morale declined. Not from fear of combat, but from uncertainty. Soldiers were trained to understand purpose. Here, purpose was deliberately withheld. Supplies became inconsistent. Some deliveries arrived without manifests. Others were listed but never appeared. Medical equipment was reduced without explanation. Rumors spread quietly. Some believed the mission was monitoring internal political movements. Others suspected it was designed to provoke a reaction. A few thought the unit itself was expendable. Command refused to address any speculation. The environment added pressure. Weather was unpredictable. Communication lines failed frequently. Repairs were delayed. Despite the challenges, the unit remained operational. Orders continued. Silence continued. Then the command issued a directive that changed everything. All observation posts were to be maintained, regardless of conditions. Withdrawal was not authorized. Communication was to be minimized. External contact was forbidden. No reason was given. Shortly after, activity in the region increased. Unidentified movements were reported at night. Signals appeared on radio frequencies not previously used. Local villagers stopped appearing entirely. The unit requested guidance. None came. Losses began to occur. Not all were recorded. Some incidents were classified immediately. Others were simply omitted from reports. By the time the command acknowledged the situation had escalated, the unit was already isolated. Still, no explanation was offered. The mission continued. Detached from logic. Detached from accountability. Moving forward under orders that explained nothing. The breaking point came without warning. One night, multiple observation posts lost contact simultaneously. Radio silence spread across the network. Attempts to restore communication failed. The command center received fragmented signals. Static. Partial coordinates. Then nothing. Orders were issued rapidly. Units were instructed to hold positions. No evacuation was authorized. No external support was requested. At dawn, movement was detected near the perimeter. Identification was unclear. Engagement rules were never clarified. Several positions were overrun. Others were abandoned without orders. Reports became inconsistent. Timelines blurred. Casualties increased. Names were not always recorded. Some personnel were listed as reassigned. Others simply disappeared from rosters. The command maintained silence toward higher authorities. Messages sent upward received no response. At some point, an order arrived that contradicted all previous instructions. All remaining units were to cease operations and destroy sensitive materials. No extraction plan was included. Files were burned. Equipment was disabled. Radios were dismantled. Then the command itself went silent. No official account of the final hours exists. What happened to the remaining personnel is unknown. No public inquiry followed. No investigation was announced. Later records showed the mission designation had been removed from archives. Budget entries were altered. Personnel files were reassigned to unrelated units. Families received delayed notifications. Some received none at all. The location was abandoned. Maps were revised. The area became blank space on operational charts. The mission ended as it had begun. Without explanation. Without acknowledgement. Without answers. The orders ended without announcement. No final transmission was sent. No confirmation followed. The radios remained silent. Hours passed. Then days. No recovery teams were deployed. No helicopters arrived. No vehicles moved toward the site. The mission was not officially closed. It simply stopped existing. Personnel lists were revised. Some names were reassigned to other units. Others were marked as transferred. Several were removed entirely. Families waited. Some received short notices. Others received nothing. No cause was explained. No location was mentioned. Requests for information went unanswered. Files were classified again. Then sealed. Later, they were refiled under unrelated operations. Maps were updated. The marked zone disappeared. Routes were erased. Coordinates changed. The area returned to quiet. Structures decayed. Equipment rusted where it stood. Local memory faded faster than expected. Villages rebuilt elsewhere. Paths shifted. Stories were shortened. Then stopped being told. No monument was placed. No public record acknowledged the loss. No inquiry was announced. No mistakes were admitted. The mission command never explained its purpose. Not during the operation. Not after its disappearance. Not decades later. In archives, references appear briefly. A code. A date. A budget line without detail. Then nothing. Historians searching later found gaps. Pages missing. Reports that ended mid-sentence. Signatures without names. The people involved did not return together. Some never returned at all. Others came back silent. They did not speak of it. They were not encouraged to. Time passed. New conflicts replaced old ones. Attention moved on. What remained was absence. Not a mystery solved, but a silence maintained. The mission became something unspoken. Not denied. Not confirmed. Simply ignored. Its impact could not be measured. Its cost could not be counted. Its purpose was never clarified. It was not remembered as a failure or a success. It was not remembered at all. The mission command refused to explain. History complied. If this story mattered to you, consider subscribing. More forgotten history is coming.